there is this sort of dream/nightmare scenario by which we have an 8-way tie at the top of the SEC. And a lot of times, I mean, look, it's a big discussion point among Alabama fans because in a lot of those scenarios being laid out, Alabama ends up being one of the two teams that wins that tiebreaker and gets to the SEC championship game. Uh, First of all, if you're putting yourself in the shoes of this program, Matt, do you even want that? If Alabama at this point, as a 2-loss team, seems like they're in pretty good shape to be one of the teams that makes it into the college football playoff, what is exactly the benefit of? I understand that winning that game gives you a first round bye and you're definitely in. Is it worth it? Is it ultimately worth it to play in that SEC championship game? Do you want to be there if you're Alabama?
I think you do because, like, I don't think coaches and players necessarily think like that, right? Like, they always want to be in the big game. They always
Yes.
want to be, like, playing for some kind of championship. So, yes, I think you do. And also, it's one of those things like, you really can't get yourself bogged down by like, oh, well, is it actually like you can't sandbag a game on the way
No, of
there to
course
like
not.
not play in the SEC championship
No,
game,
not
then you're
suggesting
not in
that
the
at all.
playoff either.
No, not suggesting
But
that at all. I think it's more of like if you're watching these games and saying, "Oh, I guess we need Missouri to win this one. We need Georgia to beat Tennessee." Like, is it? Does it even make that much of a positive difference to get into that game?
yeah, I mean, it probably if you you got to go win it. That's
Yeah,
the if you get in it, you better go like win the thing. You can't be. But I mean, if you do win, you get a week off, right? Like you're probably going to be one of the top 4 seeds there as the champion. So like you get that week off. Probably end up what I think the SEC is tied to the Sugar Bowl somehow still with their champion in the semifinals, so or the quarterfinals. So you probably I don't know.
it's great.
I
It's
think
great that we know how all of this works now. No, I mean
yeah,
it is.
we were joking that there's a world where or early in the season when Georgia Tech like looked like they had an actual playoff spot. We're like, man, there's like this insane, bizarre world where Alabama plays in Atlanta in the SEC championship game, and then in Atlanta against Georgia Tech in the first round, and then in Atlanta in the Peach Bowl, and then in Atlanta for the national championship game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know how any of this works. Like maybe I think the answer to the original question might just be like you find out in a year whether or not it's good to
I,
be in the SEC championship game.
Well,